indefinitely after a career year, kind of had solidified this starting position, really found his groove. He is out indefinitely with an upper body injury. The Minnesota Wild announcing that last week. In addition, they signed Andrew Hammond, the Hamburger. Those in Iowa will remember him. He spent some time there before going out to Buffalo for a bit. He returns on a 1-year, 2-way. Alexis, that's another player that bites the dust before the season even starts.
Yeah, and it's an unfortunate one as well. Not that there's any that are fortunate, but this one is especially tough because the Wild are already going to be dealing with a goalie transition here with Cam Talbot coming in. There was a lot of talk of like, well, is Al maybe going to get some starts? Are they going to maybe do a little Manny Roley action where they're splitting it? Is Kakkonen going to come in and back up Cam, or is he going to back up Al, or what's this all going to look like? And like you said, Al had a great season last year. There was a lot of pressure put on him to perform when Doobie was out due to personal reasons. And, the Wild had a tough year. They needed, good goaltending in a year like that. And I thought Al came in and did exactly what he was asked to do. And so I was looking forward to seeing what kind of role he played this season coming out of training camp where they kind of slotted him. And I know that another thing that I saw, which I didn't even think of at first until I saw this, somebody had tweeted it. But Al is such a big personality on that team as well. He is so much fun to be around. Was that you who tweeted it?
I did a whole story about Alex Stalock being a character. Thank you for reading Minnesota Hockey Journal, November, December issue. Check it out.
Wow, that's embarrassing. I was not even trying to pretend like I didn't know that. Like I seriously was just like, yeah, I saw that on Twitter. So no good respect. Job, Jesse. So yeah, that got me thinking. I was like, he really is such a big personality, and on a team that's very, they're getting less veteran heavy, but the leaders, so-called leaders on the Minnesota Wild are, some of the older guys on the team, some of the more soft-spoken guys on the team. And so someone like Alex Stalock is really, really important in that locker room and on that bench. So that is going to, I think, hurt just as much as his, play is. So I'm interested to see what happens, but I am excited about the fact that it could mean Kakkonen could come up, get some playing time, and possibly get that opportunity to prove himself to be the number one goaltender in the near future for the Wild. So there's some positives that came out of it. It really does stink, though, and hopefully whatever it is not super long-term, and he can kind of get back into it as soon as possible. But trying to look at the silver lining there. I don't know. How do you feel about it, Jesse?
I mean, I would agree. I think the most exciting, if you can really call it that, is the door widens and opens a bit more for Kakkonen to come up. I know I had mentioned it last year. I wanted to see more of him, and I want to see him really get ready and take that role. And now Cam Talbot can take on that starting position, which, he might have still had anyway, right? There was no guarantee that Al was going to be the starter, but Cam Talbot obviously very capable of that position. Andrew Hammond, I imagine he'll be down in Iowa more than Capo will be. I think Capo will step in and kind of maybe be that number two. You had mentioned again, though, I think the biggest detriment is he's the gel in the locker room. He's that fun guy. In the story that I wrote, and yes, I will toot my own horn, it is in the November, December, and I tweeted the story out, so feel free to go check it out. But Alex talks about the importance of just being that character guy. I mean, he's been a backup for the majority of his career, so he's used to playing this role in the locker room, and to lose that's a tremendous loss for the team, especially when, no disrespect to anybody or slight to anybody in that room, there's not a lot of guys, though, that really are that nucleus and that kind of that team person. So not having Alex's presence will definitely be missed, and it'll be noticeable too. So I'm curious to see how that plays out.